I mean, knowing Trump as we know him, you'd expect him that he would have directed Cohen to lie. There were reports that Cohen sent around what he had planned his testimony to be, sent it around to various White House officials and lawyers. And so they knew what he was going to say. And if they knew that what he was going to say was a lie, did they actually, egg him on to lie, or did they say nothing, or did they tell him not to lie? Exactly what kind of responsibility would White House counsel and other lawyers in the White House have for, basically promoting a lie, even if they didn't, tell him to lie. If they knew he was going to lie, what kind of legal jeopardy is that? I'm not sure.
Yeah.
The other interesting thing is that in Michael Cohen's plea, when the SDNY got him to plea to various charges of, tax evasion and other misdeeds he did in his own business, and along with that, of course, the two payoffs to Stormy Daniels and the Playmate model, McDougal. In that plea document, it said that the president directed him to lie. And it said something about, I think it said something like, in both the case of the payoffs and the Moscow Tower business, the president directed him to lie, or something like that. Or it wasn't that straightforward, but if you kind of read between the lines, it almost looked like that included both things that the president told him to lie about.
Mm-hmm.
So there's, that kind of fits with what the BuzzFeed report said. So there's definitely something there, I think, to the BuzzFeed report. It's just that I think maybe there's some things about the story and how they wrote it, and how they kind of got the Mueller prosecutors involved that wasn't quite right. The fact that Peter Carr's statement says that what they said wasn't accurate, instead of saying that it wasn't true, there's definitely some wordsmithing there.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah, I think it's definitely very interesting. I think you do make a very good point there, like that the way they wrote it could be the problem that the special counsel's office has with it, not the actual facts of the case. And I think you could definitely, if you looked at some of the evidence here, look at the court filings for the past few weeks, like it's in the past few months, like it's very possible you could make a case that this is a possibly, like you could make the case that there's a lot of truth to this report. And like before we move on here, what do you think are the chances that when the dust settles and we know more about this BuzzFeed report, that a lot of it does turn out to be true, or all of it, or even none of it?
I think that this is just the beginning, really. I mean, there's a much bigger story here, and this is just a tiny little aspect of it. And of course, it's an impeachable offense, but I think we still have a lot more to learn. And I think Mueller's report is going to be a huge bombshell and make this BuzzFeed article look kind of insignificant in comparison. That's just my sense. There's the fact that the president is lying about this Trump-Moscow deal to the American people, and the fact that he may be directing other witnesses, not just Cohen, but perhaps Don Jr. and others. means that there's something about this Moscow Tower deal that he doesn't want exposed. So there's something there that's big, and it probably has something to do with a tit-for-tat agreement about lifting sanctions for this Trump Tower deal, and the president's probably very worried that Mueller has information about that, and he's trying to cover his tracks.
Yeah, that definitely seems like it could be. That's probably the most likely scenario if you were to kind of connect all the dots there. And I think it's very interesting to see if this all comes out. And based like anyone who has followed Trump for like any extended period of time and watch his behavior both in the campaign and in the Oval Office, I think it's a very hard time to not, if you're looking at it in an unbiased way, to say that he wouldn't do what the BuzzFeed report is accusing him of doing and more. Like lying to Congress, like no, like come on. Like that's not, Trump has lied every day his whole life. And the fact that he wouldn't lie to Congress, I think, is it's really pushing it a lot to make that kind of assumption there. So it definitely seems to be something that I wouldn't put past him. And anyone who really is looking at the situation in a like nonpartisan way would, or even probably from a democratic way. Like the guy lies. It's very obvious. It's very possible that he did lie to Congress or ordered someone to lie to Congress. So that is very interesting. A possibility he even told lies to Mueller in the written investigations. So yeah, we don't even know. All right, we're going to move on now from that to another story. I don't know, Glenn, if you've seen the video, a very controversial video going on since you're not on Twitter. It could be something that you're missing out on. Have you seen the video of the Native American guy protesting and all the people who are kind of like the little the high school MAGA kids that are kind of like ganging up on him? Or
I have not.
All right, so pretty much what happened here was, this has been pretty much all over Twitter, but it's kind of a white kid and like 40 other white kids, all from like a Catholic high school. They were like MAGA hats and all that, and they're there for their anti-abortion march. From a Catholic school, and they're all kind of ganging up on like from what I could see, like 6 people, and they're like chanting, mocking things. And there's one kid who's just like sitting there with like this like really obnoxious smirk on his face, as the Native American guy who's like a Vietnam War vet. He's an elder of the Omaha tribe, and he's just out there. He's banging a drum, he's singing, he's protesting, and it's a very kind of awful situation. It's a situation, you look at it, it's just like, you see it for the first time, and it's just like, you're just, ugh. That is not a good situation. And I don't know, I guess you kind of have to watch the video to really have a good sense of it, but all in all, this doesn't seem like a really surprising thing. It's just something that really makes your stomach turn. Like, how do you think, do you think this speaks to something like broader in the Trump time with more kind of a racist feelings on the rise and just being more open to racism among the general public? And this was like from a southern school, like in Kentucky, but still, like you get the sense, like things just feel more open with the Charlottesville situation and a lot of other instances. Just the general rise of hate crimes across the country. You get the sense like things like hateful people feel a lot more emboldened, especially under this administration.
Yeah, there's no doubt. I mean, the president is our leader, and if people think that the president is a racist, then maybe it'll be okay to be racist. Maybe being racist isn't right, but if the president can get away with it, then I should be able to get away with it too. You know, that's that kind of thinking, and it just gives people license to. React to act on their worst instincts. A lot of people, I think it's human nature to have some kind of racist feelings, just from the sense that there's different people around, and there's those people and there's our people, and it's probably kind of built into our humanity. But it's got to be something that you try to control. And if the leader of your group, and I'm talking about the president, isn't going to help to hold back those feelings, then people are going to express them. And we're seeing it quite a lot. It's pretty sad.
Yeah, and especially when you see kids doing it, and especially it's the younger generation, that makes it all the more disturbing, really, because it just shows you that there's just still people out there. Like, it's a hate of other people, hatred of the other, is I think it's probably going to be continuing to foster for as long as humans continue to exist. And that's a sad thing about it. Glenn, we are just about done with today's show. Thank you so much for coming on, and it's really been a good one. We are back Tuesday for the continuation of the Wake Up, and we'll restart the week. So we will see you then. Glenn, thank you so much for coming on. This has been Newsflash.